Day, everyone. Yes, I love it. All right. Super exciting. So, oh goodness. Hold up. Did I do that? Is that me? I don't know. Did y'all hear
Yeah, you
that?
doubled up.
Oopsie, my bad. How is that possible? That was a YouTube page. Anyway, I closed it, so hopefully we're good. Welcome everybody. Super excited to be here. Happy Friday. Every Friday, unless I'm traveling, every Friday is I Love AI Friday. And what that means is that we come together as a community, connect with each other in real time. I give you an update on what's happening in my world and give you a sense of the trends I'm seeing when I'm working with my clients, a little window into the world of AI consultancy from me and my journey, but also give you a sense of some of the things that are happening in our community, some amazing things that our community members are doing. And give you a chance to hear from them, but also give you an idea of where you can go and maybe learn more about them. This is a great opportunity. If you are not here live, you do have an opportunity to join us live. You just have to go
Yep.
to noelle.ai, and all
Hey,
that
Lance,
means
how's
is
it going?
like my name,
Good.
Noelle
I do.
dot
Yeah, sure,
AI.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
Hold on, what is happening? Let's see if I can find him.
Okay.
Guy, are you on it? Okay, I see it. Oh, I see you. I see you. I see you. Okay, I found you. So I've saved them from themselves. So Noelle.ai, Noelle.ai, if you would like to join us in the Zoom. Every Friday, we try to break out a little bit at the end of our calls, get to know each other. You'd be amazed who's in these rooms, people that are much further along in their AI journey, as well as people who are brand new on their AI journey. But all of us have something very unique in common, and that is our lived experience that really does change the way our AI systems are made. So I'm so grateful for all of you joining me live today. And if you are joining me live and you are watching this on a platform like LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook, just go ahead and type hashtag live so I see you. I can comment. I can't see all the comments right this second, but I will go back and make sure that I go and say hello. So thank you for being here. The best part about this call is that you do have an opportunity not just to ask me questions, though I'm here for that, but also ask questions of people that are like doing AI live every single day, and have a chance to build a friendship, a professional relationship, even a partnership with the incredible, incredible members of this free community. So if you haven't joined yet, head on over to noelle.ai and you can do that. Now, on to the cool news of the day. So I'm going to spend about 5 minutes, go through the news of the day that I wanted to share with you. Probably this is all through the lens of Noelle. So some of these may not be the biggest things that you might know them and be like, well, that's not new. But to me, it's a big deal because of how far I've come. And now things that I've been working on for so long are finally becoming a reality. So I made myself a couple of notes so I would not forget the cool things that have been happening. So, first and foremost, there is a term people have been sprinkling around the internet called FDE, or forward deployed engineering. And what this means is that organizations are looking to get immediate results when it comes to AI. Meaning, as soon as I'm in a sales conversation, they're like, what can you do for me today? Maybe tomorrow, but like immediately. And so what I find is, A, that's really great. Of course, many of you know I teach a class called AI Solution Architecture, and it's based on this premise, right? This premise that when we get in front of a client and we start talking to them about the value of the solutions we offer that are typically AI driven, AI powered, one of the most important things that we can do is show them instead of tell them, right? Not pull up a 40 slide PowerPoint deck, but actually demonstrate value on the call or in the meeting immediately. One of the things that's required in order for you to do that is for you to be a good listener, right? For you to actually hear the problems your clients are telling you and be able to render value in real time. The good news is that there's AI for that. So we do have the ability to partner with AI to amplify our own human ingenuity. But it is really exciting right now. FDEs, or forward deployed engineers, is the top growing LinkedIn job description right now. It used to be AI solution architect, but I think that term is too broad. Because that's technically what we do. Before deployed engineering means that you are going to actually go ahead of the sale potentially. You're going to move from post sales to pre sales. And we used to call them pre sales engineers. But again, why name something the same thing we've been naming it for 20 years when we can create a new name and make it popular? So, for deployed engineers means that we are now showing up the second we understand the problem our clients have and building. And here's where, again, an idea I've had for a long time, this concept of a minimum remarkable product, an AI solution that moves the needle in a super meaningful way, but it's not boiling the ocean. It's not the biggest, most important use case the company's ever going to do. It's just enough to have a real, tangible outcome that builds trust and allows you to move to the next set of use cases that you're going to be solving for. So super exciting. So FDE, it's called the FDE Boom for deployed engineering. If you haven't heard of it, you probably are, some of you are probably doing it already without even really thinking. But this concept of forward deployment is really powerful. And it's what we talked about in the AI Solutions Architect Masterclass. Speaking of which, the AI Solution Architect Masterclass is coming up this spring. And if you want to join us live, you have an opportunity to do that by just heading on over to the AI Leadership Institute at any time. What? Thank you, Sherilyn. Sherilyn, for those of you in the community who haven't been over there yet, this is our essentials program, and it's like my baby. It is everything I wish I knew to get to where I am instead of having to like claw it together and, fall into holes and climb back out. This is a handcrafted journey into becoming an FDE. So really, really cool timing. Very excited about it. Another thing so I always like to start with happy, good news, FDEs, let's go. I'm excited about that. On a more maybe somber note, we are seeing the pressure of capitalization hit some of the largest AI companies in the world. And so organizations like Anthropic are reportedly, granted, they have not made a comment on this, dropping their safety pledge in light of pressure to deliver on capitalist outcomes. I get it. It's hard. It's hard to be good. I know. I get it. I'm sympathetic. But I'm hoping that this report is flawed. I'm hoping it's some fake news. I haven't seen the evidence of that, but I'm hoping. I'm hoping that they'll come out and be like, just kidding. That was a little side note we sent to someone. They misunderstood it. But here's the interesting thing about safety pledges, right? These are commitments organizations are making to themselves. And I don't know about you, but there is a huge value when you make a promise to yourself and no one's looking. In this case, everyone's looking. But when you make a promise to yourself and no one's looking and you break that promise to yourself, something unfortunate starts to happen. You start losing trust in how you make decisions and how you make promises. And it's a tiny little pebble, but the ripple effect grows and grows and grows. So this is the beginning of what I fear might be, I don't know. I'm not going to say like the Skynet age, but I do think we need to be very, very careful. This is where it's super important. Some of us are going to work at these companies, right? We're going to be like me, an employee at Amazon, on the AI teams, employee at Microsoft. We're going to get a chance to influence these conversations. And that's why I think it's so important that we weave the DNA, like into the DNA of our projects. We weave responsibility, accountability, safety into the DNA of how we do things. It's not a pledge. It's not words on a piece of paper that's tacked to our wall. It is an engineering asset that we've built that every one of our applications implement. And that's where, again, looping back to FDEs, right? If we are forward deployed engineers, guess what we get to do in the sales conversation? We get to set that operational expectation that, of course, you're going to build responsibly. Of course, you're going to build with safety. That is a requirement of the build, of the design, of the conversation. And I think a lot of us have an opportunity to make some significant impact in this area. So those are kind of two real big things. We also saw Google and Samsung come together. I don't know if you've watched the rivalry from a devices perspective when it comes to them. As a matter of fact, do I have them both here? No, I only have one. The other one's upstairs. But I have, of course, this is, my personal phone, an iPhone 17. This, looking quite similar, is the Pixel 10. And I also have a Galaxy Fold because the Pixel had not done that yet. But I have a Galaxy Fold 7, right? So I am using all these tools. I did tell myself the reason I bought 3 phones was because I wanted to be top of game when it comes to mobile-based AI. And so today, or maybe yesterday, Samsung and Google decided to launch a very cool suite of Gemini services that allow you to do what's called Gemini Actions. I immediately tested this. So allowing you to set up actions on your phone, similar to the dream of the iPhone. Remember the shortcuts? Oh, it was such a good idea. I love shortcuts. But shortcuts are like 50-50 for me. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I will admit. Maybe some of you are like, oh my gosh, the Siri shortcuts allow me to do everything automated and it's beautiful. Come talk to us. I would love to hear what you're doing. But I tried it today and it was super easy, right? I already have a bunch of apps on my phone like Canva, like Adobe, Uber, Uber Eats, Instacart, and it allowed me to create Gemini actions that send voice-enabled instructions to those apps. Order me an Uber, right? Where do you want to go? I give it an address. Or I'll say I texted it to you. These are really, really interesting I think, movements that we're seeing, relationships that have never been seen before. So I'll remind you of the really exciting announcement of Microsoft embedding Anthropic models in their model catalog, which I don't know if y'all remember, but Anthropic and AWS were super good buddies. So good, in fact, that they did not create any relationships with Microsoft for years. I almost thought it was like us and them, right? But now we're all family, right? Everybody wants their models to be used by everyone safely, securely, and responsibly. So, Anthropic launched on Microsoft, creating a relationship that, again, 2 years ago, we couldn't really see coming. So, there's some goodness here, right? In companies that used to be, well, maybe we call them frenemies now, but they used to be like, we are different, our audiences are different, we are separate, we are distinct. And now we're seeing some joint ventures and technology collaborations that are bringing the solution to more people when you do that. And I'm excited about what that means. Again, I'm not in the room where it happens when these decisions are made, so I don't know things that some of you in our audience might know. But these are exciting signals, both exciting from a new companies creating new relationships and letting go of kind of old baggage of, you are you and I am me, and RIP is super important and we're not going to talk to each other, to this kind of Google, Samsung. I mean, granted, they are coming together to kill their rival, Apple, but still, I think there's some goodness there. I'm looking for goodness. And then the same thing with, of course, the FDE boom. The only downside today is probably that nod or maybe shaking our head to safety from the perspective of Anthropic. So we'll know more about that as that comes to fruition and we find out what that means. But again, the details is in the words, right? It's a safety pledge. So I get it. I get that, that's a promise we made to ourselves. That's not going to change the safety in the product. It's not correlated to right market enablement. It's just an internal thing. But like I said, when you stop keeping promises to yourself, it's a slippery slope. And so I see that with these companies. I would love to understand your galaxies, Renee. You have more than one.
I also have three galaxies with three different phone numbers.
Awesome. Yeah. So I have three different like brands, but that would be better because then you could build on one, right? And then all the phones could actually potentially run your business. Like that's interesting to think about. But that's cool. Awesome. Yeah, right. For me, myself, and I, no, I think Renee and I are similar in the sense that we are constantly trying to serve the world in new ways. And so, what better way than to create a phone number and new website to serve that ambition? Last couple things I want to mention. Of course, we did just finish our challenge, the I Love AI challenge. It is available on replay. You also can upgrade to VIP, which will give you all of the assets. We are going to be turning the AI challenge into a class that can be taken on demand anytime on how to build your first AI employee. And many of you know, I actually just posted this in the AI Leadership Institute, our premium community. Many of you know that we used a platform called Marbleism to do that. And when we used that platform, I now use it for a lot of things, but one of the things I noticed was that it has some pre-configured connections And it's going to grow those connections. But right now, one of the things I do is I publish my articles. My most of my long form content is published to Substack and to LinkedIn in my newsletter. I have about 17,000 people subscribed to my newsletter. And so I'm constantly looking for ways to automate or at least to ideate on what would be valuable to those 17,000 people. And so I leverage, you can see it in the AI Leadership Institute. I created a video for you to walk you through some of the magic that I do. And a little bit, I mean, obviously a big chunk of it is content, but that part I know. Like I know my story, I know what I'm building. The part that I feel like might be beneficial to some of you, certainly those of you in the Institute, is how I bold content, like these little tips and tricks to making the content more engaging, more accessible. And so I added that in as well. What? Renee has almost 2,000 new impressions per week about 6 days exactly. And this is so one of the things I'm asking my EA inside of the platform is to create for me a metric analysis. So I want a table with all of those metrics that I can see on a daily basis. I'm all about anytime feedback. So I want to know. But granted, I am doing lots and lots of publishing these days, as you probably have seen on LinkedIn, YouTube, on my Google My Business profile. So really exciting things happening. And I just wanted to give you all a nod to let you know that in the Institute, I did create that video to walk you through if you want to use this platform to help you build out newsletter content. I want to help you do that. The biggest thing that I'm looking for is, right, give me back my most non-renewable resource. Give me back my time. Because if I have that time, I have space to think about things in ways I've never been able to really think about them before. I can think past today, past tomorrow. I can think about the next generation. I can think about innovating with technology in ways that only I can think about it. But without time, that ability is compressed. And when you compress imagination and innovation, well, you don't get nearly enough of it. So this is my mission: is how do we give back time to those of us who have such incredible brain power? How do we get time back so we can use that brain power for good? We can build something incredible. And that is, I think, a pretty good segue to my friend Dell. Building incredible things, super exciting. Um, yes, exactly. Yes, when we get time back, we get to help everyone. So Del, not everyone knows who you are. We have new people today, but would love to have you, if you're up for it still, have you introduce yourself and what you're doing, but also share with us some of the cool stuff you're working on, because I think it'll be really inspiring to people.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Dell. I'm a self-taught software engineer that mainly prioritizes myself inside of blockchain technology. Um, However, I have since I've been joined the AI Leadership Institute, I've gotten into GHL or agentic AI agency um quite a bit more. And I have been struggling with learning how to go from coding to drag and drop style of building. And in doing so, I decided to use AI to build a tool that allowed me to build everything from start to finish, including your pipeline, your opportunities, your workflows, the automations, your agents, your design of your site in a very unique look and feel, and it all operates together while running at the same time. So, I'll share my screen with you and show you guys like what it is that it does. Um, this here is is it showing?
Yes, it's coming. Yep, we can see it.
Okay. So right here, what we have is let me go ahead. Oh, did I take it away or no? Is
Nope,
it
we can
full?
see it.
Okay. So right now, what you see is this is the actual tool working itself. So I don't know if she mentioned Anthropic. So I don't know if any of you guys use Claude Code. However, it's like one of my biggest pieces of my tech stack that I'm involved with currently. From designing plugins to creating SDK agents. But this build right here is super special because it not only gives you a very unique, I don't know why I'm in that page right there, unique build, but let me just go ahead and do this. It doesn't matter. So this is the first page, and then it's a six step funnel. but each page is literally I haven't pressed my finger on a single key for one of these. I don't need to show
In
them all,
Go
but
High Level. That's pretty cool.
yep. And you get
Oh,
a very you get a very unique branded application from start to finish. It goes in, it does the research on what the value of the app itself will hold, what's the best pricing points it should look for in comparison to the other competitors in that market. And then it'll give you a pricing point based on all of that information. It's kind of hard to go into like all that in detail right now, but I
of
can.
course, but it's basically like the blood, the bones, the skeleton of your business, right? Like all the things you need to go live. These are all the questions that come up, like how do I price it and who is my target audience? Like these are all things that a lot of us, we get stuck in.
Yeah, and one of the things that you actually so when you said back in the day, and I didn't quite understand it fully yet, but like when you told me a lot of companies that are being built today with AI are not going to go into production.
Right?
It's super true. And I know that because I actually code my own applications and I've got many of them that I've worked with, actually probably too many. And by me doing this the side with coding and then also the side where it's like a GHL style of build, you learn how efficient and proficient like agentic AI agency that this software really is and what all can be done within it makes it the real production level like build essentially. Like you can do when doing it with code, you can be really customizable. You can do a lot of things with it, but when you do it inside of here, you can do it fast. You can do it where it's actually going to provide value and have it all linked into each other at the same place. So it's just makes it super easy.
All right. So tell me
Um,
a little bit about how you did this. Like, how did you connect one to the other?
yeah. So, I was literally just kind of going in and playing with it more and more each day. And really, it took a lot of
So cool.
prompt restructuring and formatting and trial and error. So for the last 2 months, while I've been kind of vacay from the school community,
Yeah.
this is what I've really been working
Oh
on is
my
trying
gosh.
to develop something that the users here at Agentic AI or AI Leadership could use to
Yeah.
build themselves
Oh
some
my gosh. I love
really
it.
cool software applications and
I
not
love
have to
it.
put in any of the hard work, you
Did
know?
you launch it? Can we go here? Like what's happening?
So it's in the middle right now of currently as so right now it's in the middle of doing the workflows. So it's finishing up around lead XAX WF3. There's 16 workflows and I think I have 8 left to go. Let me
All right.
see. But it will be up later on this afternoon. Yeah. So I've got 8, 4, 7, and 10 created. So I got a few more to go, but it'll
That's
be done
nice.
within the day.
That's so cool. So tell me a little bit about, without like giving us the inner workings of this, like how did you connect Claude Code to like is it an API in Go High Level or like a webhook? Like how are you connecting those two? Are you copying and pasting? What are you doing?
Yeah, for sure. That's the bread and butter really. So inside of Claude Code, it gives you the option to use Claude. Let me actually change my screen share up a little bit, and I'll just give you
Sure.
guys my terminal.
Yeah, Nitin was asking if it was MCP, right? Like we are like, what,
Nope,
what?
not MCP. So I could have used MCP too. Like I actually love MCP. I use it daily, especially for like trading and stuff like that. But this is an MCP. This is simply taking the app itself, right? And then going into where is it? Right here. So you go in here and then there's this button right here where you can teach Claude. So by going in
Oh,
and showing Claude, so like now as you see here, I've had to compact my uh where I was at already once, so now I have to do it
yep.
again because it's a really long system prompt that you'll have to put in there. But when you put it in, you're gonna have to run this, at least probably 2 or 3 times for it, and then it's gonna create a summary of the conversation, and then that summary will let it know like, okay, this is what we completed, this is where you need to go next.
I see.
But but here you teach Claude Code, you press this on, and then you get to tell the Claude Code that's in your browser exactly what it is that you're doing and you tell it in voice, so you'll be speaking to it directly, and then you go in and you show it by clicking each of the steps. So you go and you build out the automation step by step, and then it learns the system
Yeah.
super easy.
Yeah, that's awesome because I always say to people like if you do something once, it's fine, but the second you do something twice, like automate that thing. But it's different now. Like this is, obviously the next evolution of that is not just building an automation, but creating like putting an LLM that can now innovate and, basically go way beyond a simple connect the dots, right, type of architecture.
Yeah, it's crazy because
Yeah,
I
Don
literally,
has questions. Are you up for some questions?
yeah, let's take some questions. I'm good.
Let's go. Let's go.
What's up, Dale? Hey
What's
man,
going on? How are you?
thanks for sharing this. Listen, I am curious because now for the last 5 weeks, I've been heads down in anti-gravity in Claude Code. And literally I took off all of the restrictions, like don't ask me any questions, just do it. I mean, what you got going on here looks great, but literally I'm curious if anybody else is running into this, but every 3 to 5 minutes, it keeps prompting me. Well, you know, yeah, every 3 to 5 minutes, literally, I keep getting these little pop-ups like, "Do I have your permission to continue?" And I'm like, this is just, I don't know. I mean, I think that's my first question. Like, are you running it? Have you run into this? Is anybody else running into this?
Yeah,
So there's a couple
but I would
things.
love Dell's opinion. Yeah, go ahead.
There's definitely a couple things. One of them can be first, I would ask you, do you have plugins installed? Do you have do you running any agents inside of your terminal window?
Yeah, I think I am running 8 different agents. By the way, I should clarify, I am running it through I'm running anti-gravity, and then I'm running Claude through anti-gravity.
Well, you don't really need, you shouldn't even really, shouldn't do that really. I don't think I would download it directly through the terminal because then all you do is you just like, this is how I do it. I'll show you what mine
It's
looks
just
like.
easier to use the IDE. I hate using the
No,
terminal.
Yeah.
this so this here, this way I'm going to show you is where's the share button at? How do
And don't worry, Don, we're recording this so we can go back and look at the magic that's about to happen right now.
Fair
all
enough,
right,
fair enough.
cool. Um, so
Wait,
Let's
is
see
my
what's
camera
gonna
ready?
happen.
Hold up. Oh,
That's right.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. I hope so. I hope so.
So for example, this is Claude Code, right?
Yeah.
How I run it is I run WSL inside of I'm using Windows, so I'm running WSL. And all I do is I type in Claude like that. It's just a simple command. It's gonna open up the Claude terminal, and then I can speak freely with Claude just like so, right? Now, the biggest thing that has to do with like when you're getting the the prompts that are telling you to can you run it by me exactly one more time what it's exactly saying? Because there's a couple things
It's
that can cause it.
so it's not an error.
No,
Right.
it's pausing. It's actually
It's
like a
just
safety thing, right? Like it's like,
It's a
are you sure you
context
want me to
thing.
keep going? Are you
right. And
sure you want me to keep
I
going?
turned all those off. That's what's driving me a little bonkers. I even so much as told the agent, like, hey, I give you full permission to just run, do
Yeah.
your thing. And it won't. It just
It's probably
constantly,
because you're using agentic or anti-gravity.
Yeah, because the framework,
oh,
so similarly in Marbleism as a company has implemented what they would call a guardrail that says it's never allowed to run on its own. It has it, and they've implemented this, meaning the engineering team that is wrapping this model and providing it in like a platform, they've added this, and there's nothing I can do to get around it because I don't own that platform, which is why what you're sharing, Dell, is so powerful, right? Like if we
Mhm.
own the platform, we get to choose, right, what that looks like. But they have done the same thing, and they actually said, I mean, I have 43,000 emails, and I'm like, if you could just zero inbox me, that'd be awesome. It has a limit of 50 emails a day, 50 emails. And I was like, I mean, I'm going to be 84 years old when you're done, you know? So I've gotten it now to do I'm on multi-threaded, but it's still stuck on this 50 at a time, which is, but that's a hard rule that they implemented in the product. So when you're using products like Gravity or anti-gravity, they have embedded certain rules to protect users
Mhm.
against themselves. And if you think about anti-gravity's go to market, they're going after people who don't like they need a little protection, right? People who are
Right.
not engineers by trade, they're, clicking buttons and creating assets. So they're very, what's the word? Like they're just very
Limited
conservative in
or
their
conservative.
approach. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Renee ran into this problem too, but Renee loves anti-gravity. So I wasn't sure if Renee, if you're still here, if you had any of those
Yeah, I'm here.
challenges.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I had to go get my phone. Yeah, I have run into some of those challenges, but I love anti-gravity and all the things that you can do with it. But I'm not running a terminal. I did have to download VS Code, maybe. I did have to download a few extra things. I don't have a list at the moment, but Donald, I can see if I can locate what I did and send you the directions. But I
Yeah,
do
that'd
love
be
it. I
cool.
flipped a bunch of my lovable projects over to anti-gravity.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's great for building websites. It's like knocks it out. But Del, maybe I just got to get used to it. I mean, I think reason why I like it is because you can just use natural language. Like I can just literally talk what I want the machine to do, and I don't have to do any key entry. So whereas, I guess if I used um like Claude via the terminal, you got to do a little bit more work. But
No,
maybe
actually,
that's
it's the exact opposite, to be honest with you. So I've used everything, from anti-gravity to Cloud Code to Comment. I mean, I've ran and practiced, with all of them. It's actually the exact opposite. The only thing you have to do is install it, and then from there you type in Claude, and then you'll go. The only thing that makes it more difficult is the fact that you have to understand how to move around the file space, the directories, and whatnot, in order to keep everything clean. Because if you don't, you'll run into a problem like where I had plugins in one project that were working with plugins in my main project for a project that was over here. And it was like, but they were like kind of working against each other. And all of a sudden my build started coming out all wonky and weird and gross looking. And I'm like, okay, I just went from building like beautiful designs to like not even generic like designs. Like they were worse than generic. They did come out all the way messed up. So that's what I was thinking was at first was that your problem might have been a plugin issue where they're speaking with each other too much. But this here is really like you can do anything. And like I have this here, like this, for example, this plugin, it's Superpowers Brainstorm. And I tell it to brainstorm an idea, and it actually goes out, it fetches the, real live documentation online, and you don't have to be in the window to do it, but it saves you a lot more context because I can launch sub agents. So when you're using the terminal, I don't know about on anti-gravity. I've never ever, I don't think you can, but in here I can say, I can be like, research this or whatever, but research it with, uh, well, I'll just do it for an example really quick to show you. So we'll just say, research FDE using subagents. And then now it's going to go in, it's going to launch a subagent to save my context window a lot of the space. So if you looked at it like it was like you had 1, 2, and 3 bars, your context window, your main window, you want to keep small because that's how these systems are able to speak and gather the correct, like good data. But the smaller that window gets, the more poopy the data really gets. And then your outcomes are starting to shift from being great to being like, what happened? They started off awesome. Now they're down here. So with this here, you can see like it's got a task. It launched a sub agent to go out and take care of this task here, while the main context window stays only using 658 tokens, which is nothing.
Right.
But that's one of the main things why I use Cloud Code itself is because of the context abilities that you can save on inside of the terminal.
I like it. And I've not played around too much with the terminal only because I don't have a lot of RAM and so I'm worried about it killing my machine. But I'm totally
Yeah.
going to do this. This is really cool. And I like the fact that it's so I think one of the other things is that when people who are non-technical see a terminal, right? Like they immediately are like,
Yeah.
no, I can't do it. And they don't realize, which is why I'm so glad you reinforced it, is that it's just a natural language like text box.
Yep.
It's in a terminal, so you have the ability to kind of manage things differently and better. But I actually think it's a good segue, right? The best segue to actually learning about the code you are building. And I think there's a bit of
Yeah.
responsibility there, right? I want to do that. I want to know, right? If I'm building a website, I think I want to know how that's happening. And I might want to know about the file system that it's creating. And you do have the ability to use natural language to actually fix a lot of that structure
Yep.
as you're building it. So yeah, I'd encourage, maybe we'll do a class on Claude Code from the terminal, or we'll add it into our agentic AI playbook. Um, like when we do the agentic AI class, because I think that would be really, yeah, exactly. Um, I think you can speak. I mean, you could use like voice flow in
Yeah.
any window, right? Um, let's see. Alonzo is talking about this takes 3 to
No,
25 per 1 million tokens. Oh, I have no idea. Do you know anything
no,
about
no, no,
pricing?
no. No, this I'm so if you're running with an API system, maybe like $3, I guess. I doubt it even because I've built a lot of stuff with their API also. But so I have the max plan. It's $100 a month, and you get. I mean, if you're able to run through your entire plan on max like weekly, then you're building left and right. Like because I build often, I don't even
Right.
stop building, and I still don't run out of context. So
That's so cool. I love the new window, actually. I'm a huge fan. All these things that I was sitting on because of those challenges, I was like, this unlocks all the things.
yeah,
And then when you create like sub agents to do this work so that you're now just getting kind of the summarized outputs. And so now you could do just exponentially more than we could do before. So I'm really,
hmm
really excited about it.
What's awesome about this here, Noel, is that the agency that you can put together. So say you're a blockchain engineer and you want to focus on crypto. You can build your orchestration agent, your all the agents that fall in line can fall in line under, for example, a smart contract developer, a security auditor. And then if you build them and only do it once for a small group of them, you will get a very fine-tune building like agency where like I can go
Oh
in
my
and
gosh, that's
develop
so
a
cool.
completed blockchain application from start to finish and not even it's going to be up to date using the right context, everything that it needs, knowing it's ready.
I love that. So we got an idea today, Sky and I, for building a travel agent, right? But not a travel agent, one that would connect to, if you're like me, like I fly all the time. I have status on 6 airlines. And I have certain types of status that I want to leverage in certain types of scenarios. And I know all of that. And I want to feed that into a model that will then, when I just say, hey, I want to go to New York, it knows all the things. It knows I need to book Hamilton tickets. It knows I sit in a certain spot on the Hamilton floor. Like it has
Yeah,
all of
that's
that data, right? Um, and so, but I haven't built that yet. We literally decided today. We were like, we should build this. So I'm totally gonna model this idea and build it out and see what happens. And of course, some of you know I like to
cool.
build in public, so I'll record it as we go and see. I mean, it might implode as many of my ideas do, but if it works, I mean, oh my goodness, then that becomes like this. It becomes a product you can sell, right? First, it solves my problem, which similarly, right? Like this is solving questions you have about, deploying your own business. And then you
hmm
can sell it to everyone who was you 5 minutes ago. Like,
That's
I think
another
it's so
thing. I think
cool.
that people focus on trying to build something for others first, and they need to build for themselves to figure out what the problem is on how to solve it, and then they
Yes.
can give to the community. I
Yeah, and
learned
it's
that the
so
hard
much
way.
more like personal. Like when we hear you talk about how you solved it for yourself and we have that same problem, like we can believe you and trust you. It is so important. Yeah, we're client zero, exactly. Like the best
Yeah,
way to build something is to be your first client. And why else? Like don't go searching for that, I want to build something to make $1 million, 10 million. Like if you build
right.
something that solves your own problem, find people who need that solution. I mean, everything else falls after that. It's literally like servant leadership at its core.
Yep. Very true. I had the hardest time figuring that out, I think.
It is
I was always
hard.
trying
It
to
is hard.
design the next billion-dollar idea and then
Yeah, and you're like searching and like watching trends and like keeping up with social and be like, "Oh, all these people are selling this thing." But there's a reason why people buy from them because if you listen to the storytelling of people who have very successful businesses, they are solving the businesses for that person, like for themselves
yeah,
right behind them, right? A year before, 2 years, 3 years. Like, how do I shortcut success for the people that are looking for the answers I was looking for before I built this solution? And now your go to market is all about trust and trust enabled marketing.
yep.
Like people are just looking for, and that's going to get more and more important, I think, over time. Like people are they're not just looking for the person who says they can solve a problem. This just happened with another client. We or a prospect. This prospect had no idea who I was. And I realized how valuable it was to build a brand where your clients come to you. Because if you find them, they're cold and they come to you, they start asking all sorts of questions where I'm like, why are you asking me that? Like, this is who I am. This is what I like. Why? It made me realize how valuable it is to build a brand, to talk about what you do so that your reputation precedes you and that you only work with people who know who you are. Because otherwise, you're going to be answering a bunch of questions based on the Sky said it to me this morning, like, who hurt you, right? If that person was hurt by another consultant, you're gonna, if they don't know you, you're gonna get the brunt of all the things that they wish they had asked that consultant that has nothing to do with you. And then you end up
Mhm.
cycling and spinning and then ultimately not being able to deliver because they're just not right for you. But if the
Right.
opposite is true, you build a brand, you start talking, and people are attracted to you, then you end up with people that already know who you are and then they trust the solution that you're building. And this is the stuff that, it's like overnight success that nobody sees, right? Like the overnight success that's 10 years in the making. This is that piece.
That's the
That's
part. 10 years in the making, overnight success. It's I swear to God, I've like drained myself of like all like fun and all the things like just to like make sure that I got this figured out.
it's so cool. So we are ready whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
And
Actually gonna
just
go in. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna finish up doing the workflows and whatnot, and then I'm gonna drop the post in the Leadership Institute later on this afternoon.
yes, let's go. Because I have, so for those of you unaware, I have a couple of things. So thank you, Dell. Let's throw some love in the chat for Dell for sharing. I can't wait to see it. I'm certainly going to be first on the. Oh, what? I like fancy clapping hands that explode. That was awesome. I don't know how to do that. But that's
Man.
awesome. But thank you so much for sharing your brilliance, and hopefully you will continue to do so. I think it's so cool. Thank you, Don, for asking questions and making this more into a podcast than anything else.
Yeah.
But I wanted to share with you a little bit about the events I have coming up because I think there might be an opportunity, Dell, for us to like share this with a lot of people. So
Okay.
one, I have an event coming up called Emerge America. Some of you might know it happens here in South Florida. It's coming up very soon. You'll see the posts in the calendar. Um, if you are around, I hope I'll see you there. I'll be a keynote at that event on the health and AI stages. And then I also have a social media marketing world coming up in April, I think, or May. Anyway, and that is in, granted, it's on the other side of the country. That is in San Diego or Anaheim. And so, but there's some interesting correlations. Like the other one is Mind Valley, right? So I'm speaking on the Mind Valley stage in March. All of these audiences are they're the same kind of people, right? They're people that are
Yeah.
hungry to build something that serves the world in a positive way, and they are struggling to get out of the gate. And that's why when
Yeah.
you just showed the tiny little bit, you showed how many people I get on the phone and I'm trying to talk them through pricing, or I'm trying to talk them through building an ascension ladder, right? Creating inventory of products to sell. This is yeah, it could be really powerful for these. They're not, I mean, they're small companies, but they're only small companies because they haven't launched yet, right? They will
Yep.
catch fire if they're given the right infrastructure in which to grow. But that's the challenge, is most infrastructures don't give people enough guidance on business development. And I think that's what Claude Code has given me, is the ability to weave into the tech stack actually business development, advice and
Yeah.
guidance, right? So now I can provide a conversational app inside the browser that says, by the way, I love this idea. However, we need to think about who your ICP is. And if you don't have
Yep.
a specific, like, how do we guide people towards not just throwing things over the wall and praying? What do they call it? Like pray marketing, where you're just
Yep.
praying that it takes. There is a method, a science, right, to deploying products and services successfully. It is not an art. It's not some people do it and some
Get
people don't.
lucky and some don't.
Yeah, if you follow the steps, it happens. So really cool. It's amazing. I'm so glad you shared it with us. I can't wait to see the real thing and to be like jump on the platform and see what I can
Well,
buy.
I'm super
I
thankful
love
for
a good
you. You've
funnel.
done a lot for me actually, and you've really looked out for me and allowed me to build on this platform
That's so cool.
and give me opportunities when I didn't have any at that time. So I appreciate that. And
Absolutely.
where is
Absolutely.
the event at that you're talking about? I will have
So
to maybe fly out.
yeah, so there's one in it's called SMMW, so Social Media Marketing World. It's held
Okay.
by the Social Media Examiner, which is like this super large, hundreds of thousands of people are members in this community. They have about 100,000 people coming to this event. And it's in Anaheim. So I'll send you the
And
details, and I'll also be posting them in the calendar so you all can head out there if you
okay.
want to. But the other one, which is same vibe of entrepreneurs in the South Florida region, is Emerge America. That's coming up pretty quick. That's, I think, in mid-March sometime, maybe March 21st, 25th, 23rd, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I would
and
love to go
so
to one of those.
yeah, that's another one that's really really powerful. So I would any of those. And yeah, if you're all there, come on over. Would love
Yeah,
to
I need to go
see
get
you.
some sun anyway. I've been inside for the last 6 months.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I mean, I know how it is though, right? Get it out the door and then I'll think about it.
Yeah, right.
But if I can give you an excuse to get out and show people what you're doing, like, hey, that's pretty awesome. Thank you, Alonzo, for throwing. Yeah, I figured you would know what this is because this is a Miami event. Um, Great, Renee. Yeah, so here's Emerge Americas. Thank you very much. Hopefully, I'm on the website now. Let's see what happens. We'll see. Accept all. I'm a brown girl. They usually like to put me up there sometimes. But I did just confirm, so maybe I might not be up there yet, but hopefully I will be by the end of the week. Nope, I don't see it yet, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I can go into speakers, more speakers, and see if I'm on the list somewhere in here. Hopefully. I just said yes. So, oh, there's some curly haired brown girls, but that's not me. That's not me. What? Neil Patel will be there. Let's go. I love Neil. Oh, there I am. Yep, I'm here. I'm here. So very cool. It looks like it is alphabetical. So I'm an R. So keep on scrolling if you're looking. All right, let's go, Adriana. I would love to come to Australia. Where in Australia are you? Is it Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane? Where are you? Let me know because I will. Oh, Sydney, what? Oh, of course. So I will definitely be in Sydney in October, not for South by Southwest, which sadly did not get renewed for its fourth year, but I will be back because I have clients now due to 3 years in a row of going to South by Southwest. I have clients. So every October I go back to Sydney. So we will definitely catch up then. So nice to have you all here. All right. So we have about I'm going to say 15 minutes to get together. That will give us an opportunity to break out into small groups. If you can't stay and break out, I totally get it. But this is where the magic happens, right? This is the opportunity you have to meet people like Dell, like we have a bunch of innovators, builders. Some people are building in a little bit more stealth mode, but they're still extremely giving with their information. And so Dell used to be in stealth mode, but now he's getting closer. So we got to see a little bit of the inside of the product. So it's so exciting to watch. But you're in a community of builders. If you haven't built something and you want to, like, this is a great, great environment to be in because you can watch people who, either are like me and kind of we're born builders. That's kind of just our DNA. And others who have uncovered, got the bug over the last few years and are now demonstrating things that they've never done before. And I think both experiences are extremely inspiring to get to know. The other thing I'll encourage you to do now is throw your LinkedIn into the chat. While I wish I could connect with everyone, I hit my connection limit. I do try to fire people from my connections every so often. I have a bunch of like financial planners that I think I connected with by accident, or they were hitting me up and I was like, sure, we could be friends. And they were just trying to sell me something. So as I prune through those, I'll have more options. But right now, most all of my connections are spent. So what I will do though is I do commit to follow you. So if you throw your LinkedIn in the chat and get to know people here, I can follow you. You can follow each other, and we have an opportunity to really help support our journeys together. So right now, what I'm going to do, if I can find my way back to my Zoom, is I will throw us into some breakouts. Unless there's any questions for Dell, myself, anyone, we good? We good? Okay. Otherwise, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about vibe coding, and which is the ability for us to do things without writing fingers on keyboard letter by letter code, building websites, vibe coding, right? Building mobile apps, building applications. Okay, right before we go, this is why I was like, we're too early. That's because I can't help myself. So I'm going to share with you something I vibe coded myself recently. And this was created for my for the school community. So I'm going to go in and let you see it. And this is our AI Leadership Institute community, our paid program. We have a program, it's the Essentials program. And so we have 12 master classes and 6 certifications. But 3 of those certifications are with Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. And right now, today, we are in the Azure AI Essentials class. And so I created, vibe coded an application to help people, and let me just expand it out, help people with, oh goodness, their process of getting prepared for certification. Now, this was hard to do before. It was hard for me to go in and create an environment that allowed me to have a 200 question bank that would rotate through questions, give people a correlation between question missed and topics to study. Like every dream I had on how do I prepare people to get certified was realized when I got the ability to just ask for what I wanted. So if you see here, this is all vibe coded, but when I go in and I take a test, I don't really want to fail it, but I'll just give you an example, right? So I'll just do it. Oh my goodness. I'm so this hurts my brain. I'm very sad. My heart is breaking. I don't want to but I'm gonna do it so you can see what the end looks like. But you can see the progress bar. I'm just randomly picking answers here, so it's fine. It'll tell me I have a lot of work to do probably. This is like, have you ever seen that movie Summer School back in the day where they were like B, 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 C? Anyway, that's what I'm doing. It's definitely not knowledge mining. Let's go. Let me at least answer this one. Music streaming app, listener history. I'm going to go recommendation engine. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. 7 out of 15. That's not terrible. I almost passed. Which is very similar to what would happen. But you can see here, not only does it tell you the answers you got correct, which I was doing pretty good there at the beginning, it also gives you an explanation and the part of the certification that you need to study. Now, what ends up happening is when I go back, I'm so sad. I'm going to go back to view my progress. Let me move this down so I can see it. So now notice here, it's telling me based on that test, right? Sadly, I did not pass, so it gives me my performance, tells me how many times I've taken the test, but most importantly, it gives me the topics I failed and takes me directly to Microsoft Learn to figure out how to solve, right, that gap for myself. Not just from Noelle's content, which I could do, but from Microsoft, who's the certifying authority. So pretty cool, right? Like I just think we are at a time now where your ideas, like there is zero time between idea and execution now. Now, this is why we're safe and responsible. This is why we talk about responsible AI principles, because the only friction that you should experience between your idea becoming reality is the intentionality that you put on it. And that should be you should be able to enjoy that process, right? Where you're saying, okay, I love that I could do this, but how do I make sure I'm serving everyone? How do I make sure that this is available, which it's not, but it's going to be in 5 languages because my students represent 5 languages or 5 different countries that have separate languages, right? How do I make sure I'm building for everyone? Now you have space to do that. You have time to think about how do you build software that serves everybody and doesn't hurt anyone and doesn't, accidentally or intentionally, infringe upon someone's rights. And so all of these things we can now think about as we're building our solution. So of course I did build this in Lovable, but I also built one in Bubble. So I'm playing around with all these tools. But I wanted to demonstrate that this is how easy it is, right? You have a problem, you're doing a thing, especially for those of you who are consultants and business owners, right? How do you add perceived value to the people that you're serving? You have an idea on how to do that. Now, all it takes is you applying that idea to an environment. So what I want you to do is think about, is there anything that right now is what I call bringing back the backlog? Is there anything on the backlog, things you put on a list that you're like, one day when I have money, time, resources, I'm going to build this app. I'm going to build this thing, right? Like, what would that be? Think about that. But also, what are your opinions on vibe coding, right? Like, how are you feeling about that? Are you nervous? Do you feel like you're building something you can't manage? What are some of your concerns? I'm not trying to lead the witness here, but I will tell you, Claude Code, like Claude, Anthropic, who is the company, right, that owns Claude, their mission, literally the reason they defined Claude Code was to help all of us build solutions that would be helpful. And they said their mission is to make the engineering, the code, the SWE tasks, right? The software engineering tasks, make them irrelevant to ideation, right? That you can build an idea and you can talk to a model and it'll create the engineering work, but the engineering work will become irrelevant over time. It will just become, it's kind of like a Word doc. I don't know if you've ever thought about the software behind Microsoft Word. Like there's actually code that's running back there, right? To make the Word doc do what it does, for it to automatically turn two dashes into an M dash, right? Like there's magic there that is software, and we don't think at all about it. And so, how can we get to the point where our ideas turn into an executable outcome and the code we generate to support that becomes irrelevant to us? I think some of us are uncomfortable, some of us are more comfortable. So I think it would be a good topic to share. So thank you so much for that. Super excited to have you all here. I'm going to right now stop sharing and grab some breakout rooms for us. Like I said, it's the best time for me. I get a chance to meet with all of you. Obviously not all of you at the same time. You will, I should warn you, hear my voice towards the end of our 10-minute time together, coming over the loudspeaker to let you know that our time is coming to an end. So I just encourage you, because some of these rooms will be pretty big, to just make sure everyone gets a chance to introduce themselves. And you have a choice. You can either say what you do and how you help people, or you could say, oh my gosh, I have a question and I need help. So either you need help or you want to help. In either case, you're welcome here, and we cannot wait to get to know you. So it'll only take a couple seconds for me to set these up. I do have to create oopsie, no, cancel. I do have to create a extra room for our robots. I do try to put our note takers in a room of their own so they can enjoy their lives and talk to each other. And so when they become sentient, they'll be like, Noelle was so nice to us. She gave us our own room. I really appreciated her kindness. So we have these going. Let's see. Fireflies, one more. Let's see. All right. Oh, well, there's Otter. All right. All right. I think I got it all. If I missed one, you're welcome to kick them out. Otherwise, and if you are, if I put you in the room and you look around and there's only robots, either enjoy your life and have some fun, or just come back to the main room and I will reassign you. All right. So have some fun, get to know each other. Don't forget, tell people who you are, what you do, and how you help them. You'd be surprised how many people need what you're talking about. And the alternative is true. If you need help, this is the best place to ask for it. So have fun, and I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Oh, yeah, Eva. I wonder if I saw any Evas. That's a good question. No, I didn't see any Evas. All right. I'm going to move Nancy over to room 2. Oops. I'm going to move this one to room 5. Yay. All right. Looking good. Yeah, looking good. All right, cool. What's up, Don?
What's up, Noelle? I was like, should I go in the room or should I catch up? Because it's
know.
hard to catch you. So I don't know which
No,
one.
here I am.
There
Yes. David
I
Hammer
am.
also stayed back.
Uh, you're going Michael Tilsner? Is that the
What?
I don't know. I was thinking of the
The
social
Emerge
media
Americas
going.
thing?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
It might be. I don't know.
Maybe.
They contacted me and asked me to speak to them, so I have no idea.
That's
It looks
awesome.
like Tim Tebow's going to be there. Um, let's see any
Crazy.
other names. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh my
What?
gosh.
Are you
Okay, hold
recording?
on. Hold
Are
on.
you
I'm gonna have
recording?
to say, wait, hold on one second. Hey everybody on LinkedIn. I'm about to let y'all go. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be in these rooms and hang out with us, I hope you will do so. We'll see you soon. Thanks for being here, and I'll see y'all later. See you next Friday. Bye, everybody. All right, hold on. I gotta hit the stop button.